Hi, welcome to the 7-Minute Beginner's Guide to Scope 3. Over the course of the next several minutes, we'll introduce you to the Scope 3 Open Access Program for Particle Physics journal articles and tell you how your library can get involved and support Scope 3. First of all, what is Scope 3? The acronym stands for Sponsoring Consortium for Open Access Publishing in Particle Physics, with the 3 P's indicated by the P cubed. The Scope 3 program is based at CERN in Geneva, Switzerland, the European Nuclear Physics Research Agency. CERN began planning and preparing for Scope 3 along with the international library community for nearly a decade before the program launched in 2014. Here is a map showing the 44 countries currently supporting Scope 3 with a star for CERN in Geneva. Each country has a national contact point, usually a national library consortium or government agency, and LYRASIS serves in this role for U.S. libraries. You may be wondering why you haven't yet heard of the Scope 3 program if other U.S. libraries have been supporting it for the past 5 years. Over 140 libraries with subscriptions to physics journals from the Institute of Physics, Elsevier, and Springer began supporting Scope 3 when those publishers joined the program in 2014. In 2018, the leading U.S. Physics Society publisher, the American Physical Society, or APS, joined Scope 3. Many more U.S. libraries subscribe to APS journals, so now there is an opportunity for new libraries to join Scope 3. 3 APS journals, Physical Review C, Physical Review D, and Physical Review Letters, are included in the Scope 3 program because they contain articles in particle physics. Scope 3 supports the publication of these particle physics articles in open access. Scope 3 uses a model that is a bit different from other open access programs. Existing library subscription dollars for paywalled journals are converted or redirected to support the publication of open access articles. In many cases, not all of the articles in a journal are in the area of particle physics and eligible to be part of the Scope 3 program, so the remainder of the articles will remain behind a paywall. A library's ongoing subscription payment for the non-Scope 3 paywalled articles will be reduced by the amount redirected to Scope 3 that supports the open access content. Libraries end up paying what they were budgeting and expecting to pay for a complete paywalled subscription, but now part of the articles, those in particle physics supported by Scope 3, will be open access. Importantly, no authors of Scope 3 articles will have to pay article processing charges. Scope 3 open access articles are funded entirely by former library subscription dollars. For example, let's say that your library's renewal fee for the APS All Journal package that includes all of the journals published by APS is $20,000. Since APS joined Scope 3 in 2018, you're now due a credit for both 2018 and 2019 for the open access content in the 3 APS journals in the program. These credits have already shown up on your 2019 renewal statement for APS journals. In this example, after the 2 years' worth of credits are deducted, the final amount you owe APS for the remaining article content still behind a paywall is $15,000. Therefore, $5,000 in credits is now eligible for redirection to Scope 3 to support the publication of the open access content in the 3 journals. Let's review the flow of the Scope 3 model. First of all, Scope 3 negotiators establish a contract with a participating publisher. The publisher then abides by the terms of that contract and gives its subscribing customers credits on their annual renewal notice. LYRASIS, in our role as the U.S. National Contact Point for Scope 3, invites libraries to redirect those credit funds to support the program. When libraries agree to redirect their credits, LYRASIS gathers those funds and sends them on to Scope 3. Scope 3 then pays the publishers for the particle physics open access articles they publish, using funds gathered from the global library community. Contracts with publishers are generally renewed every 3 years. One way to make these transactions efficient and easy is to continue working with your subscription agent that is now handling your purchase of APS journals. Rather than invoice you for a single payment for APS journals, they are able to invoice you for the paywalled subscription fee that goes to APS and the separate Scope 3 APS open access fee that goes to Scope 3. You may also pay your Scope 3 fee directly to LYRASIS if you wish. The point is that the two fees combined will be the equivalent of what you have been budgeting for and expecting regarding your APS journal renewal each year. You're probably wondering what will happen in 2020 and beyond. SCOAP3 is now negotiating with the participating publishers for new contracts covering 2020 through 2022. The cost increases for SCOAP3 have been extremely favorable since 2014, with an increase in only 1 year of 2% in 2017. These rates compare quite well to the annual increases from publishers for paywalled subscription content. There's one more key aspect to the SCOAP3 model that you need to know. All subscribing libraries to SCOAP3 journals, including the 3 new ones from APS, will receive SCOAP3 Open Access credits on the renewals, whether or not they decide to support SCOAP3 by redirecting these credit amounts to the program. So why should your library support the SCOAP3 model? Well, as we all know, open access publishing isn't free. By making this scholarship open to the world's readers, the SCOAP3 model furthers the progress of science. Authors without access to funds to pay article processing charges can still publish their research in the open in SCOAP3 supported journals. For no additional money beyond what your library was planning to spend to support your institution's physics curriculum and scholarship, you can now support a new model of scholarly communication and expand access around the globe. We hope that you will decide to join the growing community of SCOAP3 U.S. library partners and help advance a vision of the future with open scholarship.